Now, joining us earlier, as we mentioned, is Onikeku. Quadri is a former SA2 executive chairman of Koka Aguda Local C, that's LCDA. And also joining us via Zoom is Ayoyinka Oni, AAC chairman, Lagos State. Now, gentlemen, we've seen that report, and we've also watched what played out on election day as well as at the New Central Town Hall. But I have to ask you, gentlemen, about the fallout from the elections, but most importantly, the calls for cancellation of that election. They have now sworn in the chairman and the local council chairman who won the elections. Do you think that there will be any sort of redress to the grievances that was raised by all stakeholders involved? Let me start with you, Ayoyinka, on Zoom there.
Thank you so much for having me once again. To the question if there will be a form of redress, there will be a form of redress if political parties and the people of Lagos do what is expected of them, which is to stand on their feet on the fact that this election should be cancelled. We cannot run an election like we are electing for a mafia gang or the biggest crook and expect that those people will go and perform to the expectation of the people. It's not possible. Because I can tell you, when we were saying the statistics of 6% was the result of people that came out, I can tell you that it was even lower than that. The bulk of the percentage of the votes that was used to declare those people as local government chairman and councillors were read votes. More than half of the percentage of their votes were read. In some local government like Ajeromi, in Ibadan to be precise, in the councillors' local government, they were already thumb printing in the night. When my candidate went there, Wima, to challenge it, they quickly stopped and they refunded him out of the place. And in the next morning, they started an election. You can imagine, So for the cancellation to happen, we political parties have work to do, and we must stand on our ground, legally, constitutionally, and politically, to declare that this election should be cancelled. That is the way it will be done. Will I say go ahead and do that? Of course not. Will Lagos State government go ahead and do that? Of course not. But the people have to put their way into play at this.
I'm hoping we didn't lose Ayoyinka there. Mr. Quadri, you might want to respond to Judith's question there.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I want to say it again, that there is room for improvement by LASEC. I'm not here for LASEC. I'm here as a member of APC. And also they let us know that our party, APC, is a law-abiding party. And we can say it for free, that if you have any problem against the election, there are rules that have been set on ground. So take that opportunity, go ahead to the law court and challenge anything you feel you are not comfortable with. But like I said earlier on, that we cannot, because of 1, 2, 3 lapses, cancel the total election. That is my position.
Mr. Quadri, okay, so maybe I should start with you on a plain tabula rasa sheet here. Are you happy with the outcome of the elections?
Outcome of the election, I'm happy because I'm a party person, and because my party won. Okay. Everybody will be happy for success.
Okay, fine. So, do you admit that there might have been certain lapses by LASEC?
Yes, I said on during the town hall meeting, and I'm saying it again. Yes.
So
there are lapses, but because of these few lapses, does not mean that we have to cancel the whole exercise.
Judith, I see you raring to go there. So if you say these few lapses, if you admit that there are lapses, and majority of the stakeholders are pointing out to these lapses, some of them with evidence, don't you think that the calls for cancellation are valid?
Until proven by the law court, I think we will still maintain our position that the election is valid, and we are standing by it.
So is the APC happy with the dissenting voices that are raising from the occasion of this LGA elections? are they comfortable with it? Because the majority of the councillors that have been sworn in are all APC councillors.
Yes.
You know, there's only just a few who are not. So
Yes.
doesn't it seem
My
that
party,
there's a very obvious imbalance?
The APC is very comfortable. And you know why I say that? Because we know we are on ground. Once you are sure that you're on ground, you should be happy of your victory.
Right. I have to ask you. You said that the APC is a law-abiding party, and from where you stand, they're happy with the outcome of the elections. But the turnout of that election was 6%. It means that the locals that voted for the representation at grassroots level, their representation was just 6%. Is the APC happy that the turnout of that election of the entirety of Lagos was just 6%? Does that affirm the APC as a proper representation of Lagos State? Shouldn't the APC rise up and stand up and say, and do the right thing if they're law-abiding, to say, maybe we should look at the poll relocation and the name missings in the ledgers to make sure that at least
there's a fair representation from all parties.
Who exactly is voting for the APC?
Let me answer it this way. As far as you are concerned, we have done everything humanly possible to do to mobilize our candidate for the election. And I can also tell you for free that yes, a lot of issues must have come up. Yes, some people may not be in town during this period of the election, and also some people may be sick. Like someone alleged that someone voted on that day and the person is late. For me, I know these are part of the reason why the turnout was a bit low, and the party is not really happy about it. But the party going forward, we do everything possible to raise that bar so that in the coming election, we can improve on the output.
Mr. Ayoyinka, we hear that you're back with us. Maybe you heard some of the questions that were fired at Mr. Quadri here, but I'm wondering on your side of things, you were also at the town hall. I think you also spoke there. If you were to be asked to put into perhaps maybe a percentage type register, how many voices, opposing voices to the result of the elections were at that town hall, how would you measure it?
If we critically look at it, you will realize that 99% of the people, apart from even party, are in no way happy with the election result, including APC members. The funny thing is that they cannot speak like we can do, because Yoruba will say, even within their party primaries, many of them were disenfranchised. Sorry, please, can you hear me?
You have to translate for us, please.
Oh, okay. It means if you are eating from the food on the table, you cannot speak when food is in your mouth.
Okay.
That's what it means. You know, because we cannot be talking about improvement when they planned to actually fail. It's not a talk about improvement. Improvement to what? Improvement
okay, so Mr. Ayoyinka,
you went in.
Mr. Ayoyinka,
Yes.
let's talk about the details of the disagreements now. What are these details? What happened especially on election day that leads these opposing, these parties to say, no, we're not with this election? Can you tell us some of them?
Good. Thank you so much. Let me backtrack a little. First, you gave polling tags to party leaders in the evening on Friday for election on Saturday. Many of them couldn't deliver that tag to their people until the next morning. You gave APC very early. Shows you clearly that the APC and LISEC, hand in hand. Now, on election day, you did not arrive in many of the places, because I went round. I was listening to the PRO say, oh, you couldn't move around. I was able to move around. I went to all locations. An election for 8, you were arriving at 10 at 1 p.m. In some places, they did not even show up. LISEC officers themselves were even looking for their polling units. That's how much it was scattered.
So, Mr. Ayoyinka, so, Mr. Ayoyinka, So it would seem that the lapses that you are
Yes.
mentioning are not lapses from the APC. These are LASIEC lapses, it would seem. Do you
No,
agree?
no, I'm coming to that of the APC. I'm coming to that of the APC. Oh, I will tell you the lapses of the APC. And that's why I'm disappointed when Mr. Quadri said it's a success. You don't achieve success with cane and cutlass on an election. Like I said, we're not going to an election to choose a mafia gang or a warlord. We're going to an election to choose councillors, chairmen, leaders of communities that will make policies and execute projects to better the life of the local government. So when you win such election by double voting, cutlass, gun, and cane, and harassment, and you call that success, then we're a failure as a country. Because that was the tools that the APC used to rig themselves, including vote buying and bribery. And they were shamelessly doing it at the polling units. They were not even hiding it. They bribed the LASEC officers, they were bribing police officers to make sure that whatever irregularity that is done at the polling units, it is not stopped by the LASEC officers. You said people should go to court. Their own law, LASEC own law of their officers, they did not obey it. The law that polling unit agents were supposed to obey, they did not obey it right at the polling unit with evidences. So that is not a success. So LASEC, poor election planning, poor election execution, accepting all the irregularities, the APC bring irregularities, bring in thugs, multiple voting, ballot snatching, especially in Yaba.
Ayoyinka.
And we want to call that a success. We cannot call that a success.
Ayoyinka.
Can be in the parameters of success.
Mr. Quadri, you have said that the APC is a law-abiding party, but you have accused the party of thuggery, of rigging, of intimidation, as well as bribery, and you also implicated LASIEC and its officials as well into your allegations here. Now, I must put it out here that we cannot confirm your statements, and those are based on your observation and not News Central. But I do have to ask you, if you have this level of allegations, I'm sure there must be evidence to back up these allegations. And so what then is the next step for your party and the other oppositions who are against and are calling for an entire cancellation of this local government elections? Are you at the courts now? Is there a coalition among all of the opposition parties to come together to call for cancellation? What's the next step for opposition?
Thank you. So there was a press conference by a few political parties. AAC was represented, even though I couldn't make it physically, to declare this election null and void. And many political parties are in court. Likewise, we also. But apart from this, there are also going to be political steps. The evidences that we have, it will be a misfailure or a failure on our part to present it to LASEC. LASEC is part of the problem, a very systematic problem, and it will also be a failure for us, because I listened to the PRO when he's saying we can present it to the police and all that. The police were part of this. They were part. So we cannot present it to the Lagos State government that were also involved. None of these people can judge their own case, So it is for us to present it to the court and also take other political moves to expose all this. They are evidences.
Okay.
Even though the thuggery was so much that they even had to be deleting some of those evidences, but we still were able to get them. Evidences of thuggery, evidences of multiple voting. No, it was even beyond multiple. It was alarming.
All right, then, Ayoyinka.
Evidences of harassment of people from voting for their candidates.
All right, then, Ayoyinka.
That can be an election.
Ayoyinka, let's talk to Mr. Quadri here. Mr. Quadri, the APC is aware of these grievances by the other parties. Now they're saying that they're going to come together and perhaps go to court. How ready is the APC to face these parties in court and also ensure that there is a fairness that is applied to the entire process, where if there are certain lapses that the APC has noticed, maybe not on the side of the APC but LASIEC, that they would also maybe help the situation in any way?
As a law-abiding
party, as you have just told that the APC is. So how prepared are you, and what measures are you and your party willing to take?
Anyway, to start asking your question, I want to put it on record that even AAC in my own local government, they don't even participate in the election. In my own local government, just two parties, APC and PDP. And that is why I'm saying that.
That's some of the lapses that they're talking about, that some of these parties
Their names were omitted from the ballot.
their names were omitted.
My brother, you cannot put something on nothing. When you don't have a candidate, I cannot help you to give you a candidate. Like, I'm sure that we never help you to provide a candidate.
You're still missing it. They said that they had primaries, they picked their candidate, they submitted the names to LASIEC. LASIEC omitted their names from the ballot paper. This is not just ACC. We also had incidents during the election when we were covering the local government elections several weeks ago. We also had candidates from Ajoromi Felodu local government area who came on the station here to say that their names were omitted, the candidates' name were omitted from the ballot paper.
Anyway, let me not talk much because I'm not from LASEC. They should face LASEC and argue that. But moving forward, I said we are a law-abiding party, and I'm standing by it. And I know that if you have any challenge about the election, you have any issue, and you have evidence as they claim, let them challenge, let them approach the tribunal and follow the normal law that has been put in place. So my party will also be ready to come and defend itself when that time comes.
Well,
indeed. Well, gentlemen, I must say thank you. We're pretty much out of time here. We will wait to see how this will turn out for the opposition parties, as well as whether LASIEC or not will step up to the plate to address these grievances raised by by the opposition parties. But gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you for doing this with us this morning.
thank you very much.